Everyone, welcome to week 1 of 1301. You are here. You have made it to another semester of school. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over what the heck you have to do this week, some helpful links and ways that you can contact me. So this is week 1. Now, depending on when you're taking this class, these dates might differ a little bit, and that's okay. Don't panic if you're seeing different dates there in this video. So for the first week of the class, we're going to focus on two primary questions. Number 1, what is the argument that the text is making? And number 2, how is the text making the argument? Now you might be seeing this in an email, you might be on Blackboard seeing this in the announcements page. You can also access the exact same information here in the lessons tab. Okay, and we'll go over that here again in just a second. And once again, if we think back to the goal of this class, we want to develop unique ideas and communicate them effectively. So it's really important that we understand all the nuances and complexities of the text, as well as where is and what is the evidence for the argument that this text is grounded in. So we'll be using this textbook-ish. It's very small and thin. We'll be reading through it throughout the course in 16 weeks, so they're in very small chunks. It's called They Say, I Say, and this is to help you build those muscles for writing so you can become a better and better writer throughout the course. And we'll be doing this through the use of templates, and I'll explain that here in just a second. It's a really great way to help you understand how to write more effectively, and it's essentially just a method of filling in the blanks. So, as I mentioned in the introductions video, throughout this course we'll be exploring text that might seem kind of controversial to you or really controversial to you. Dive into the controversy. Don't worry about it. If you vehemently disagree with it, that's awesome. Tell me why. Explain to me why. If you think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, go for it. Tell me why. Don't shy away from stating your opinion, as long as you're fairly representing the argument of the text and voicing your own opinion as respectfully as possible. As long as we have a discourse that honors other people, no matter what their views are, as long as those views are honoring of other people, then we'll be doing great, right? Okay, so once again, we're just warming up this week, so I want you to read the introduction of They Say, I Say, and you're going to watch the text a couple of times, let the ideas, images, and other persuasive tactics just kind of swirl around in your mind for a day or two. If you need help from me between noon and 2 p.m., you can access Google Hangouts in order to talk with me. Either it's kind of like a texting app, or we can do audio, or if you're really brave, you can look at me in my beautiful face and actually communicate with me face to face. It's very weird. I probably didn't encourage anyone to do that, but just show up. It'll be fun. So if you don't know how to do that, click on this link, and there will be kind of a step-by-step process of how to do it. It's an app that you can put on your phone, or you can access it through a computer, yada, yada, yada. The key thing that you need to know is that you need to add me as a contact using this email address, right? And you can always email me if that works better for you too. I'll do anything I can to help you out. If you really want to meet with me via Google Hangouts, but those times don't work for you, email me and let me know, and we'll figure something out that works for both of our schedules. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. Every Monday I'm going to kind of give you this just suggested list of things to do each day. So Monday, explore the text. So I want you to read the intro to They Say, I Say, and then I want you to watch this OpDoc. So it's called Opinion Documentary. It's called The Price of Certainty. It may stimulate some ideas and kind of get you to think, or bother you, or make you feel good. That's okay. All those things, all those feelings are good. Just let it sit with you and think about it critically. Ask yourself, is this argument working? Is it not working? What's persuasive about it? What's not persuasive about it? How is it trying to be persuasive? Ask yourself all those questions. On Wednesday, you're going to compose your first discussion board post. I'll go over what that looks like here in a second. On Thursday, you'll compose your first discussion board comment. On Friday, you will compose your second discussion board comment. On Saturday, you'll watch TV. On Sunday, you'll watch TV. Assuming, of course, that you follow the schedule. Now, do you have to follow the schedule? Of course not. This is just a suggestion for you in order to make sure that you're not panicking on Sunday and trying to cram everything in, which I imagine some of you may do. But once again, you're getting all this information on Monday morning. You have until Sunday night, 11:59 p.m. to finish it. Okay? So for completing the discussion board posts, let me show you how to do this. And once again, I access this by going through lessons you're not going to be able to see all of these things, right? Those will be populated. You'll be able to see those as we get further into the course. Hopefully by now you've already done the introductions discussion board post. If not, make sure you do that right away. It's ungraded, but I still want to be able to figure out who you are and hopefully get a picture of what you look like. So I'm going to click on week 1. This is where you're going to see all this information. Then I'm going to click on discussion board number 1. Okay? Then it says click create thread. So you'll click create thread here, and you'll see a template. This is what I mean by template from They Say I Say. So after watching The Price of Certainty, use the template below to craft a discussion board post that articulates the argument of the text and the key points of evidence it uses to make its argument. All right, so you can literally copy and paste this. I'm fine if you want to copy and paste it into this box. I'm giving you the answer to a degree. What you have to do is fill in the blanks, right? So, in recent discussions of the need for certainty, a controversial issue has been whether blank. Now, that blank right there is what you have to figure out. What is the controversial issue at hand? And when you plug that idea into the blank, I want you to be able to read it to where it flows together smoothly as a complete sentence. It doesn't need to be choppy like, in recent discussions of the need for certainty, a controversial issue has been whether hot dogs are yummy or not. Like, that sounds weird, right? Make it flow, make it sound academic and professional. On the one hand, some argue that blank. So what do some people argue? From this perspective, blank. Now, what you have to do is to try to give me what you think the argument of this particular side is. But here's where I want you to think critically. On the other hand, however, others argue that blank. Now, this is something that's very difficult in our world today, as we try not to think about both sides of the issue. So even if you watch this video and you are just like so passionate about one side, just hold on for a second, and I want you to think critically about what the other side might be thinking and why they would think that way. Even if you think it's ridiculous and dumb, just hang on. Don't insult the other side. I want you to think critically. Why would someone think that way? And the fact of the matter is, if you were in certain circumstances, if you grew up in the same place, in the same environment, with the same amount of money, and the same kind of job that people from the other side of this viewpoint have, chances are you would probably think the exact same way, right? So try to give a little bit of grace with these other viewpoints. In the words of psychologist Ari Kruglansky in the short film The Price of Certainty, he argues blank. So once you see Ari Kruglansky, I actually want you to use direct words that he uses from the documentary. You might need to pause it and go back. It's fine. I want you to quote him directly. And this is his overall point. Put his overall point here. According to this view, blank. I want you to say in your own words, what's he saying here? What's his argument? In sum then, this issue is whether blank or blank. What's the crux of the issue? What's the combating ideas here? What's the big point? Now here's where I want you to assert your own idea, whatever it may be. And I pride myself in being able to understand and see multiple points of view. So don't worry about what your viewpoint is, right? Just be respectful and back it up. My own view is that blank. Now here's where you got to think critically. This is challenging for a lot of people. Though I concede that blank. Now what you're doing here, this is basically exposing what you can say some people would say in contrast to your idea. So if you think that Chick-fil-A has the best French fries of all time, you could say, I concede that Chick-fil-A's French fries do taste awful once they've gotten cold, and the shape is highly unusual, right? So you're acknowledging what the arguments might be against your idea, thinking that Chick-fil-A is the greatest French fries of all time, right? It doesn't mean that you're saying you're wrong. It means that you can understand how somebody would think in another way, which is a quality that we all need desperately right now, right? I still maintain that blank, basically that your viewpoint is right. For example, and then give me an example as to why you think that. Although some might object that blank, once again, more arguments against it, I would reply that blank. How would you respond to those arguments? The issue is important because why does your opinion matter to society at large here? That's what I'm looking for, okay? Now, you also must respond to at least 2 classmates. So you'll notice that once people start submitting or actually once you submit, you'll start to see the submissions of your peers, and you can click on the submissions of your peers and then comment on those ideas. Okay? So, and you have to do 2 of those, right? 2. So 1 comment on 2 separate classmates. All right, so in your comments, make sure that you address the argument of your peer. An easy way to do that is to quote them. Look at me. Look at me in my eyes. Quote your peers. What words are you talking about specifically when you say that they have a good argument, right? And then, what is your opinion of their argument and why? Do you agree, disagree with them? Do you think they're mostly right but want to qualify it a little bit? Let me know. And then try to make specific real-world examples to back up your argument. A good thing to remember is that specifics stimulate and generalities bore. This is a lesson that we'll explore later on in the class, but be as specific as possible. Give me names, dates, personal anecdotes of things that actually happened to you. Don't just make general statements like, some people think that French fries are yucky. Some people think that Chick-fil-A is bad, right? It's very, very general. Be as specific as possible. Okay. So, in order to earn full credit for this assignment, you must demonstrate that you have given a significant effort. If I look at what you've submitted and say you didn't proofread, you've got grammar errors all over the place, chances are that you're not going to get a really good grade. Proofread for grammatical and syntactical errors. Reveal a thorough understanding of the text. If my BS meter is like when I read your post, and I don't even have a sense that you watched the video, chances are you're not going to get a very good grade. So you must have 200 words in your initial post, which will be really, really, really easy to do, and have a minimum of 100 words for each of your comments. Okay? Does it make sense? Now this is all due by 11:59 p.m. on Sunday. Once you have done that, it's a really easy week, a really easy first assignment. You will be Denzel Washington. Okay, so that's what's going on. So please make sure that you do the introduction discussion board posts. Make sure you submit your assignment, and I will send out another video on Thursday, the midweek check-in, to give you a little bit of assistance with the assignment if you're still struggling. All right, y'all have a great week.